Hi guys, welcome to your second video on the Rive Dive channel. Today we are actually going to be making our first interactive animation. Now you probably be asking why jump straight into interactive animation. I don't even really know so much about Rive yet. Now the major reason why we have to do that is actually because you learn better by doing, not just by watching endless theories on different things you can do with the software. So by the time you are done with your first interactive animation, you're confident about your ability to actually work with the software and also your desires for even more that you can actually do with the software. Enough talking already. Let's get into making our first interactive animation with Rive. All right, let's get started on how to make your first interactive animation in Rive. So the first thing you're going to do is go to this website, rive.app. Then click enter. Then you see all this stuff that's there. Just come and click on get started. And when you click on get started, it actually takes you to this menu where you can check the different files that you have actually worked on in the past, and also create new files. You could also create a project, etc., etc. Now, what we want to do is come here to click on new file, and it automatically brings us to this interface where we can select the size of our artboard. Now, we're going to be giving much more detail about that in the future. The artboard is, it's just like your canvas when you're painting, where you're painting on. That's like artboard in Rive. I'm just going to make this into like 1920 by 1080, and I'm going to click on create artboard. Now, so what we are just going to do for today is basically a button that actually runs away from the mouse anytime the mouse is actually getting close to that. And the reason for this is actually Astonish, the owner of the MDX group, actually showed me a video from Instagram where a husband that is a web developer designed a website where he was trying to make someone his Valentine, and he showed her that the screen and the button was running away and all that. Now we're not going to get into making that complex. I mean, we're not going to get into designing the entire screen the way he actually had it, but I just want to show us like the basic concept of what he actually did in the video, because this video is not meant to be long though. It's meant to be super short, and it's meant to just get you fast results. So let's go ahead to create our button that runs away from our user. So just to make things a little bit interesting, I'm just going to create a text. It's not going to be the best best of layouts, but you get. So once you click on this text tool over here, all you just need to do is come here and click and drag on your mouse, release your mouse here, and come and edit this text. So I'm going to put will you be my Valentine. All right, so I'm just going to press Ctrl A, and what I'm going to do is increase the file size to like 76. Okay, this is meant to be question mark, and then ensure that this is actually centered. You have to scroll up here a bit and make it align center. This one is align left, this one is align center, this one is, yeah, you get the gist. All right, so will you be my Valentine? So we'll make it in the middle. So next thing you want to do, I should name this val text so it doesn't confuse me later on. Just to rename, you can just double click. When you double click on the text, you're able to highlight it and then delete whatever. And I do not want to delete, so I press escape on my keyboard. Now, so next thing you actually want to do right now is actually just create the button. So let's say for instance we want to create a button. All you need to do is come to this pen looking, when you over it, you see this pen icon. Just come to rectangle, create the rectangle. This is too big for what we need it for, so it's just leave it. So now our button, our first step in making our button is done. So what we need to do now is add some rounded edges to this. When you come over to this property tab, you see this corner, click and drag it up. Right, you can see the number is increasing, but if you drag it down and you see minus, notice what it's doing to our button. All right, so we don't want that, so we want plus. We have this, and it's actually good like this. So when we have done that, the next thing we want to do is to create, a text on top of that and say yes. All right, yes with exclamation mark. Now we want to reduce the size, so I'm going to press Ctrl A on my keyboard, and then I'm going to come here and make this 50. This, I think our yes should start from capital. Yes. All right. So that said, our button is looking super good. So we probably want to change the color of our button to yellow or to pink, or what do we have? Whatever. All right. Yes. Okay. Good. And sorry. We've gone a little bit too fast. So I'll just quickly make a little bit of change to the way things are looking like. So I'm just going to change the color of this text to black. Sorry. Black. Yeah. And I'm going to change the color of our artboard. So just click on the artboard, right, and come over to the fill and strokes here. Make it white. All right. Instant upgrade. All right, so once we've done that, so this is our yes text, and this is our yes rectangle, yes rec. All right, so I'm just going to quickly duplicate it by this yes rec, right? Press Ctrl D on your keyboard. You see you have two yes recs too. So you just need to press down arrow key on your keyboard to nudge it down a bit, right? And of course, bring the yes rec from the beneath to the above. Then we're just going to change the color of the button below so that we can have this nice subtle detail. Yeah, to make it look like an actual button. So when we're done with that, I'm just going to select all of this, and I'm going to group them. Come here, select everything by pressing shift on your keyboard and selecting everything that you want to. Start from the bottom, shift. Oh my god. Or press control rather. Just use control on your keyboard. Use control on your keyboard, select everything. And then group them, press Control G on your keyboard, and voila. So once you've grouped them, just come here, say yes button. Uh, so right, very simple and super cool. Now, so what do you do next? All you need to do is duplicate this by pressing Ctrl D on your keyboard, and let's rename this to no button. No button. Good. So we have our no button, and all we just need to do is drag it out by clicking on this arrow, whatever, and bring it to our right. Then what's the next thing we want to do? The next thing we want to do is change the text from yes to no. So I'm just going to come into the no button here by clicking on this, arrow. Right now it's facing down so you can see everything. So all you just need to do is what, come into the text and just come and double click inside the text here. So what do we have? You have no, right? So we're good. So let's also rename this into no. Let's rename this into no rec so that we don't confuse ourselves later on. Let's change this into no rec. This one is supposed to be shadow. No rec shadow. All right, that's it. Let's quickly name this into no rec shadow too. All right. Super cool. Now, so we've already done the biggest part of our stuff. So now let's get into the interactive animation part. So basically, Rive has two parts where you one part where you design, the other part where you actually animate. So we're being in the design phase or the design part of the software since now we're going to quickly switch to the animate. Now all you just need to do is come to the top right corner of your screen and you see the word animate and then you click on animate. So you're definitely seeing some of all these animations to just pop up and it's super lovely, yeah. So now that we're dealing with interactive animation, one of the most important thing is logic. So what does it mean, or how does a button run away from the mouse? First, the button has to detect that the mouse is about to enter into it. Then the mouse has to move to a position. Then from that position needs to move to another position. Then from that position needs to move to another position. So we want to first create the different positions that our no button is actually going to be running to anytime the mouse is about to enter into it. Now, so first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to click on plus button here under animations, create a new timeline, say position 1, and I'm going to click on position 1 as the initial, or so I'm just going to make this in the initial position, any post, right? And then I'm going to keyframe the actual place where it's at right now, right? Of course, I keyframe by coming here beside the exposition. I'm pressing this, little something that looks like diamond shape and that. So what that does is that it actually creates what we call like a keyframe here. If you release this place, you see what a keyframe just means is that you're saving that position. You're saving the position of that thing. So assuming there's no keyframe, that means that position, even though it's there, like it's not a position that I saved. So let's say for instance now I come here and then I create another keyframe. Let's say I move this button. So notice that because I've saved the earlier keyframe, so what is happening is that what as I'm scrubbing through my timeline, you can see it's moving, from the position 1 to position 2 as the time is, passing. But that's not what I want. So my brothers and sisters, let us move forward. I'm going to create the second position for the button to move to position 2, position yeah position 2. So I'm just going to come here and then I'm going to create our no button. Let's say it moves to this side of our screen, right? Good. And we already have that keyframed. Let's see. All right, both has been keyframed. I'm just going to zoom out of my screen right now so I can see everywhere. Now, so let's create position 3. So of course you can duplicate each position. I'll just right click duplicate so I don't have to stress myself. Um Move you down, let's say to somewhere like, yeah. Then I'm going to create another position, duplicate position 4. Then I'm probably going to move it back here. Then I'm going to create another position 5. Then I'll move it back somewhere there. All right, so we have like 5 different positions for our no button that's actually going to run to every single time. Let's get to our state machine. So our state machine, don't forget from the last video, is the brain of our animation. This is where you tell your animation to do any logic you want it to do. Yeah, so that's basically that. So it's the brain of our animation. What you want it to do, this entry is just basically the first position of our animation. So I'm going to drag in all the different timelines we have. State machine, ini post. Okay, done that. Post 2. Arrange them properly. Post 3. Post 4. So everything is going to make sense in a minute, yeah? And then position 5. right? So the entry position is going to be the first position that our button is in, which is the current position it's in right now. So from position 5, I want it to move to position, and from entry position, I want it to move to position 5 first. And from position 5, I want it to move to position 4. Position 4, I need it to move it to position 3. You can arrange it anywhere how you like. You can say you want it to move from position 3 to position initial position, then to position 2, then you want it to go back to position 5. Right? You can't tell it to go back to entry because entry only happens once. All right, the entry point. All right, good. So we have that, and we have a loop, and this loop ensures that our mouse never touches our button. So we set these different positions we want, our buttons should be. The biggest question we now have is, yeah, how exactly do we make our mouse button know that the mouse is about to enter it? How exactly do we do it that the button now runs? So the first thing is, let's detect whether or not our mouse has entered into our button. So what in order to do that, all you just need to do is come here and create what we call a listener. But like, a listener is what listens. So what I need to do is, I'm going to create a listener. I'm going to select my no button, and I'm going to create a listener, and then I'm going to say listener, create an input change when pointer enters. Now, so I know this what I just said is like a lot of detail or information, right? So just in case you didn't select no button when you created your own listener, you can just come to this targets button and click on no button. Yeah. So these targets, if you click on yes button, you notice that the text changed to yes button. So but it's no button we need. So the default is that pointer enter, which is when your mouse is about to enter into it. Right. So the moment pointer enters, you know, is going to fire these inputs. Now we don't have any input yet for it to fire, so let's create a new input for it to fire. Let's create a trigger. So anytime let's say no button. So instead of having no button here, I would say mouse enters, mouse enter. So mouse enter, then I'll name this trigger run. So what's happening here is that what anytime our listener, anytime this mouse enter happens, we want this run trigger to fire. So when this run trigger fires, so once it's so when you come to so we've already created an input called run, which is a trigger. So in this mouse enter, we're just going to select fire run. So what it does is that what anytime mouse enters into this no button, into the no button, it fires this run, right? So what that is what we want to do now. So now so let's get into this now. So notice that what every single state is connected to each other. So we want this thing to transition to this thing if, so it comes here to click a create condition if run. So if this run fires, it's going to move from entry to position 5. So I'm going to create that same condition for all of them so that it can keep moving in that cycle. So yeah, just come here, click on plus, and click on run, come plus, then if run. So what this means is that what if run move from one position to the other, right? So that's basically that. Now, so with that done, so let me close this so that I can have more. Yeah, so that's that. So let's test our animation. So click on play here, right, on your state machine, and notice that what, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, our animation is working, it's working, it's working. And this is our first interactive animation that detects where our mouse is and moves our button away from our, what have you. All right, so that said, you made your very first animation, right? So this is dope as it is, yes. But let me use the opportunity to actually teach us a little bit of concepts. No, so notice that our button is jumping from one position to the other. And you don't want that. You still want it to be a little bit sleek. So one thing you can do is that what you can animate this. You can make this transition between these two transitions actually very smooth, and I have a tutorial on that on our YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in below. Yeah, so all you just need to do is come and select this each transitions, and you can make the duration, let's say 30 milliseconds. So what this means is that what is going to take 30 milliseconds from this position 5 to move to position 4. Then you can select everything. So the good part is you can select everything at once and change everything. So I'm going to hold on Control and Shift rather, and select everything 30. All right. So for this one too, 30 milliseconds. And when you have already done that, select everything. All right, and click on this cubic bezier. Then the cubic bezier means that what your animation is not going to be linear. I have a short video on that under 1 minute. I'll leave the link in the comments so you can actually check it. So come here, make your stuff like this, and you've already done yourself a real good. So let's go back and actually play our animation again, or state machine again. So notice that it's not jumping, it's moving like it's running. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So what a lovely animation here. So if you actually find this useful, please ensure you actually leave a thumbs up button under this video. And if you're yet to join the Telegram channel, check I don't know. I think this video will be online as well. Check anywhere below the video. Ensure you actually join a group of people who are actually passionate about learning Rive, and mingle with other people. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you actually ever make anything, you could tag me on Twitter. Yes we can create, on LinkedIn, Gladible Barnabas, on what other software, on Instagram, yes we can create as well, so I can actually see what cool stuff you have actually built. All right, bye.